So when I drop, what I want to do is get the file info for the file that they dropped. So let me show you how this is going to work. I'm going to go to the debugger, and under sources, here's my source for the dropper. And I'm going to put a breakpoint in this drop event so that we can see what we're getting in the event. And then I'm going to drag a file over here and drop it. So here's my drop event. Now, if I go to the console and type event, what I get is a big hairy object with a lot of properties on it. But the one I want is original event. And then under original event, there's data transfer. And here's files. So this is going to be an array, actually a file list of the files that were dropped. So I have one file, and it has the same kind of properties as we were looking at before. So it's got a name, a size, a MIME type. This also has last modified date, which doesn't usually get sent to the server. But this is the one I want. And then if I continue, and I try dragging multiple files, oh, I need my breakpoint again, and then drag multiple files, so under event, original event, data transfer, files, here I have 3 files. So here's the first file I uploaded, second file, third file. And I can access all of these properties in JavaScript, and I'm going to use them to send each file individually to the backend using Ajax. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to have an array of files that have been uploaded, and every time the user drags and drops more files into the dropper, I'm going to add the new files into this array, and I'm going to show them in a list of file names, and then when the user clicks the OK button, then I'm going to start uploading. And if they hit cancel, then they're not going to get any upload. So what this is going to look like is in my drop event. First, I'm going to get, actually, let me create a local variable here. And it's just going to be an empty array to start with. And then I'm also going to keep track of an upload count, which is the total number of files that have been uploaded in this dialog. So when you have files in the list but they're not uploaded, the upload count is going to be 0. If you upload some of them, upload count will go up and it will remove the files from the list. Then if you drag more onto the dialog, those will be added to the files. When you hit OK to upload those, upload count will go up, and so on. So you'll see what I mean if that wasn't clear. But in show dialog, where I start this thing up, so every time the dialog gets shown, I'm going to reset files to the empty array and upload count to 0. So in my drop event, let's go ahead and get the list of files that were dropped. And that's going to be on event.original event data transfer files. And I have one problem here. This thing is actually a file list, not an array. So I want to turn this into an array. And here's some JavaScript shorthand for doing that. Like so. So this gets the list of files, turns it into an array of files, adds it on drop files. And then what I want to do is add this whole thing to my array of files above. And that's just files.concat drop files. So every time I drop a new file, it will get added to, or the set of files will get added to this list of files. Now let's go ahead and test this much. So I'm going to reload, and I will drop the first two files, and then I'll drop the next three files, and then I'm going to put a breakpoint in the code. Sources, there's my drop stuff, and I'm going to put a breakpoint there, and then drag another file in. So now files right now should have 5 items in it. So let's look at files. And that's actually in the dropper scope. So closure dropper, files. Oh, no, that's not working. So let's step through it and see what it's doing. All right, so my concat isn't working. Oh, I have to say files equal files.concat. Okay, so let's go back. And here, files equals files.concat. So reload. So drag the first two, and then drag the next two, and then I'll put the breakpoint in, and I'll drag the last one in. So now file should have 4 items in it, and it does. So here's my array, first file, last file, and then continue. So that's handling dropping the files. Now every time we change the files, we want to update a list of files that's displayed on that dialog. So I'm going to start by, after changing files, I'm going to call, let's see, let's call it update file list. And then I'm going to define that function here. And I could actually put this anywhere I want, but I'm actually going to move it down with the other functions. So I'll move it down here with show dialog, hide dialog. And then I'll fix the indentation here. And then what I want to do is start with generating some HTML for the list of file names. And so I'm going to start with a local variable that's going to hold the HTML. And then the first thing I'm going to do is check how many files I have. And if files.length is equal 0, then I don't have any files at all. So what I want to do is hide this div here, this uploading files div. Else, if files.length is 1, click OK to upload the following file, and then I'll have a list of files. So let's give this a paragraph tag. And I got an extra double quote in here, so let's fix that. So now I have an upload message uploading files list. So if the number of files is 1, uploading message, it's actually upload message. Yeah, upload message, and then I'm going to copy this text as well. So upload message dot text is that piece of text, except it's going to say file. Else, that means I have more than one file. I'm going to update the message like so. Files. And then to make the HTML, I'm going to loop through each of the files. And for each file, I'm going to add a list item with the file name and we'll end list item. And then we'll go ahead and set the contents of uploading file list, files list, to HTML. So then we want to call this every time we get a drop, which we're doing now. And we also want to call it when the dialog gets shown. So we'll call update file list here. And that should be it. Let's go ahead and see how this works. So reload, drag the first two. Okay, so that's not happening. See if we got an error. Nope. So let's go to sources. Oh, we forgot to show the file list, I think. Let's let me take a look and make sure. Yeah, so this hides it, but I need to show it as well. So let's copy that and paste a copy here and paste a copy here. And actually, just to clean this up a little bit, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it there. And then here, if there are 0 files, I'm just going to return after hiding that box. So that way I skip the loop and all the other stuff. So reload, close that, first two. Oh, click OK to upload the following files. Let's add 2 more. Now I have 4, and we'll drag 1 more. Great. So if I cancel and drag 1 file over, okay, so I'm still not quite there. And the reason is because when I did the drop, I didn't reset the enter, the drag count. So basically I was inside, so the drag count was 1, and then I executed the drop event without actually getting a drag leave. So I need to make sure to reset the drag count when I hit this close button. So drag count is 0. So now let's try it. So there's one file. Please upload. Click OK to upload the following file. Here's the second one, files. We'll grab 3 more, drag and drop, and there's 3 more. So cancel, drag 1, and it works. So that's the drop event. Now we just need to do the OK button and the backend support.